Okay, so we're lying down on our backs into corpse pose, Savasana. So that's long legs, just relax and let the toes just gently fall out naturally to the sides and have the arms down on the ground next to your body and preferably with the palms up. And just scoot those shoulders away from the ears and lengthen the back of the neck. So imagine pulling out of the crown. And let's just rest here just for a few moments, just to become aware and present. So we're becoming aware of our body and we're connecting mind and body. So let's arrive. Let's take a nice long breath through the nose and a long, very long exhalation through the mouth. So when you're ready, nice deep breath. Filling up the belly and the lungs, expanding the chest. And then just exhale nice and slow. And let the body just rest into the ground. Do a brief body scan, so from the toes and the feet and the ankles. Make sure they're nice and still and rested. Up into the lower legs, the knees, the upper legs. And then coming into the hips, the glutes, and the belly. Just relax that belly. And now the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back, feeling lovely and rested into the ground. Maybe swallowing a couple of times, releasing the throat and the neck. And then bringing the chin a little bit closer towards the back of the neck. So that's just sort of pressing the back of the head very subtly into the ground. And you notice the chin moves very slightly and then just relax again. And then the shoulders down into the ground. Both arms, including elbows and wrists, both hands, every finger, and thumbs included. And let's just rest here, just for one more breath, as in and out. And then take a nice breath in through the nose for the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Just hold it at the top and exhale through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, and hold. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, and pause. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's return back to your natural breath. And we're going to slide the hands along the ground until they're above the head, or kind of like a star shape. Then if you can, lift the right foot and place it towards the left ankle. And then the right hand, hold on to the left wrist. So we're making like a banana shape, crescent. Yeah, great. Now, option to pick up that right foot and place it over the left ankle if you have that range with you today. If you don't worry. And we're just going to take 3 breaths here and just notice that lateral side stretch. So down the side body, lengthening, and remembering on the exhale just to soften and let go. So we should feel this maybe from the ankle, up the leg, across the hips, definitely around the waist and the rib cage, coming up into the arm and the armpit, the arm, and then into the hands. And just relax the shoulders down. Let's just take one more breath in vinyasa. And then slide back into that star shape, nice and slowly, and then the other side. So take the left foot towards the right foot to start with, and then slide the left hand over, and see if you can hold on to that right wrist. An option to pick up the left foot and cross it over the other foot. So really kind of imagine lengthening that side body, and you really will feel it in the waist first. So, but relax into it so the body's not fighting. So just take a few breaths, nice and easy. And work with any injuries or anything that's going on in your body today. Be kind and work naturally. So no expectations, no judgments, just gentle moves for well-being. So take one more breath here. And then slide slowly back into that star shape. And then slide the hands back down to where they were at the beginning, just either side of the body. And then place the soles of the feet to the long edges of the mat. So you've got quite a large space between the feet. And let's just let the knees fall over to the right side or any side. Just let them gently rest there. And on the next in-breath, bring them up to the center and let them come over to the other side. Yeah. Noticing the difference from each side. Let's do another breath in, up with the knees, and exhale over to the side. Inhaling up and exhaling down. So one more either side, inhaling up, exhaling down. Noticing any little cracks and pops, it's all good. Loosening up, inhaling up with the knees, and then exhaling. Okay, so bringing the knees up towards your chest. So place the knees inside the palms of the hands and just do a side rock left and right. Really loosening up and warming up the spine now. Across the ankles, place your hands behind the legs. So we're going to rock up to tabletop or just make your way. So we're going to rock 2 or 3 times. So pressing up and then rocking back. Try not to go onto the neck. I would like to do about 3 rocks and then come up over the knees and coming up into your tabletop position. Okay. If your knees are a little bit painful today, place a blanket or roll up the mat underneath the knees. I'm going to turn around actually so you can see this side. Okay, so let's do 3 cat-cow breaths. So we've got the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Let's take a breath in. We're going to take that belly down a little bit. Look forward and raise the tailbone. And then exhale, pelvic tilt. So draw the belly into the spine, roll the spine up, let the head hang down and press away with your hands and your knees and your feet. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking forward. And exhale, drawing the belly in, rolling the spine, let the head hang down, press away. Okay, let's do one more time. And exhale. So coming into our neutral tabletop, so just draw the belly in a little bit so it flattens the back. So we get a nice kind of flat, long back. Now lift the right knee and then just bring the knee forward. So we're not arching the back today, we're just bringing the knee forward as far as you can. And then back underneath the hip with the knee and then bring it out to the side. And then lower back under the hips and then take the foot back out into like a tiger pose. So bring the knee back underneath the hip. Let's do that a couple more times. So knee to the front, returning to the center under the hip, out to the side, back to the center, and then out to the back, raising the foot up, trying to keep that back nice and neutral. So one more round. So knee to the front, then to the hip, out to the side, under the hip, and then send the foot back up, and then the knee back to the center. Now slide that foot out to the side now, so we're still on the same leg. We're coming into 3 cat-cow breaths like this. So take a breath in, set the belly down a little bit, and then look forward, the tailbone comes up. You'll really notice it in the inner thigh and the top of the femur bone. And then exhale, rounding the spine up, pressing the floor away. But inhale, belly down. Let's look forward, tailbone up. Exhale, rounding the spine. So let's do one more. Just combining body, movement and breath Exhale, rounding back up. So let's come back into a neutral tabletop. Just before we slide that foot back, engage your belly and see if you can do 3 slow taps by lifting that right foot off the ground. So you go lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Slide it back in and come into knee circles. So you should really feel that hip, then go the other way. And the glutes really working there. And then let's do it on the other side if we can remember what we did. Okay, so we're drawing the belly in towards the spine, lifting that left knee off the ground a little bit and just pull it forward. Take it back to the center and then out to the side, lifting up. Back to the center and out to the back, lifting the foot up. Trying to keep the back nice and level. Center. And then forward with the knee, center, out to the side, center, out to the back, center. Okay, one more time. So forward, side, and back. We can bring it back to underneath the hip, and then we're going to extend that left leg out to the side this time. And come into 3 cat-cow breaths. So inhaling, dropping the belly, look forward. And then exhale, rounding the spine up. And let's just notice how the difference is from one side to the other. Inhale, just take a note. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now neutralize the back, so nice natural back, draw the belly in, and we've got 3 taps with that foot. So raising the foot off the ground and then lower. It doesn't have to come high, and then up, and then down, and then up, and then down. You'll really feel that in the outer hip. Bring the knee back to the center, and let's do some circles with the knees. Get rid of any burning tension, and let's go the other way. Great, okay, so back into our tabletop. And we're going to slide the right foot in between the hands. So we're coming into like a low lunge, fingertips with the hands. And as you inhale, take the hips towards the ground. So we're really coming forward, compressing the front hip and lengthening the back hip. So let's bring the chest forward as well. Doesn't really matter in this case if the knee comes over the ankle a little bit because we're supported down with the hands. Now we're going to rock back into our hamstring. So send the hips back towards the back foot. You may need to move your hands. The leg doesn't have to be straight, but see if you can lift the toes off the ground. Okay, let's hand walk forward again for that pelvic drop. Chest forward, low lunge, and then back into our half splits. Warming up the hamstring, see if you can lift up the toes. Let's do that once more. So forward, bringing the chest forward, really enjoying that opening of the back hip flexor, and then hand walk back into your half splits. Really noticing it here at the back of the hamstring, maybe into the calf muscle. If your leg's bent, that's absolutely fine. Now come back into your low lunge. Place the palms down if you can, and let's swap the foot and the hand over. So take the foot to the outer edge of the long mat, and then the hand inside. Great. So you should have like a forearm and the calf and the shin next to each other. So this is our lizard pose. We're going to do 3 circles. So try and keep the forearm and the lower leg together, and then 3 very small circles. So you can really feel that in the hip. It's quite a big stretch. If you need to shorten your stance or bring the back knee in, you can. And let's go the other way. So keeping the arm close to that lower leg. Coming back to center, and then lift the right hand up and just press it into the inside of the knee and send that knee out to the side, and then see if you can look up. The foot will roll over onto its side. Yeah, great. Get that feeling, lovely feeling and loosening in the hip. And then back to the center. Switch the foot and the hand again, and then slide back into your tabletop. And we'll do that on the other side, okay? So sliding the foot in between the hands, first of all, coming onto fingertips, and let's send the hips towards the mats. Really lifting the chest forward and feeling the opening on the hip flexor of the back leg and a compression at the front. Slowly walking back with the hands coming into our half splits. So the other leg lengthens now and the toes point up. If you can, lift the toes up. Don't worry if you can't. And it doesn't matter if the leg's bent. So walking forward with the hands again. Great. Lifting the chest if you can. And just do what you can. Again, no judgments, expectations. Walking back, I say that a lot because I used to be terrible when I started yoga. For some reason, I used to really beat myself up. It had to be a certain way, and not really. It's just to keep moving in the body. So let's walk forward again into the last lunge in our low lunge. And then hand walk back into our half splits. Really noticing the lengthening of the hamstring. Got tight hamstrings, your legs are going to be bent and that's fine. Just draw the belly in just to protect your lower back. So walking back into our low lunge to start with, and then we're going to swap the foot and the hand over. So shimmy that foot over towards the long edge of the mat and see if you can connect the arm and the leg together again. Let's come into some circles. Doesn't matter which way you start. And try and keep the leg and the arm together. We do about 3 circles one way, and let's go the other way now. Just notice how the head of the femur bone in the hip socket is getting a lovely rotation. Okay, back to the center, swapping over the hands and the foot, coming back into your tabletop. Let's place the knees together and sit back into child pose. So take the hips back to the heels, slide the hands forward, and then lower the head down onto the ground. If that's an issue, you can't get your head and your hips down, choose which one you prefer. You might want to come forward a bit and put the forehead down, or you may just want to press into your hands and bring the hips to the heels and let your head hang down. It's not essential that you get your hips and forehead down to the ground at the same time. It takes time, years sometimes. So again, no expectations. Let's just take a couple of breaths. Taking a breath into the back ribs as well. Exhaling out. Really enjoying that connection. The ground's holding us. So just inhaling and exhaling. So one more breath here. And on the next in-breath, let's come back up into our tabletop and send the knees back underneath the hips. And just walk the hands forward, maybe just one hand length. And as we inhale, we're just going to bend the elbows and send the hips towards the ground and lift the chest up. So we're coming into our modified cobra. And on the next exhale, let's send the hips back towards the heels and the head comes towards the ground. Inhale, let's rock forward again, bending the elbows slightly, hips towards the mat, chest forward, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, rock back into child pose. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling into our modified cobra. And exhaling into child pose. Back up and coming up into your tabletop. Leave the hands there. Let's tap the toes and let's lift up the hips into downward facing dog. So the legs are bent, really bent. You can keep them really bent if you like, and just let the belly kind of go towards the thighs. We want to get a nice long back and long arms. So we don't want like a rounded bridge like this. We want bent legs and a nice long back. Great. A little bit of movement now. So moving one leg and then the other, bending, sending the heel towards the ground, looking between the big toes, and just breathing nice and naturally if you can. Let's float the right leg up into the air. Bend that leg and see if you can stack the hips. So we're coming into a three-legged dog. You'll notice the opening in the front hip. Come back to the center, so balance off the hips. Let's come up onto the toes of the back foot. Roll forward and see if we can get the foot in the air, in between the hands. Coming up onto the fingertips. Just take a look at your feet. Are they about hip width apart? One at the front, one at the back. Pressing in and coming up into high lunge. So the front leg is bent, yeah, great. And the back leg's also bent. There's a balance here for a moment. Anytime you need a break, take a break. So raising the hands up into the air. You can either keep the hands above the head or bring them to your waistline, or Anjali Mudra, which is hands at the heart. Press into the front foot and see if we can come up into a standing position and then bring the back leg with us and send it into a knee bend at the front of the body. So we're coming up like this, a bit of a balance. Good job. Now bend the standing leg a little bit and place the ankle above the knee. So we're coming into a cross leg position. And send the glutes, your buttocks out to the back and lean forward a little bit. So we're coming into our standing pigeon. So engage the core, relax the shoulders, just breathe naturally. Bring the body back up and the knee up in front of you. There's a little bit of balancing going on. Fix your gaze and then send that bent knee to the back of the room now. So you're going to come into like a balancing stick. You can release the hands now. We're coming into like a T shape almost. And then send the hands towards the ground if you can and bend the standing leg. It's quite tricky. And then look at your knee. Engage your core. Keep the leg that we're standing on slightly bent but strong. And see if you can raise the back leg up a little bit. It doesn't need to go too high. And then send the foot at the back down to the ground. And we're coming back into our downward facing dog. There's quite a lot going on there. Just do what you can. Balancing is always the hardest thing. So a little bit of movement in downward facing dog. Keeping the legs bent for now. Pressing into the mat with your hands and fingertips. And let's float the left foot into the air now. Bend that leg and then roll it so your hips are kind of stacked. Breathing into the front hip. Then balance the hips off again and bring that back heel off the ground if you can. And we're going to roll forward and step the foot in between the hands. Coming onto your fingertips, check your feet about hip width apart. Press into the front foot a little bit more than the back. And we'll raise up into high lunge. Again, your hands can stay above the head if you like. There's a bit more balance required. Or hands on the waist or hands at the heart. So transfer the weight into the front leg and bring that back leg forward into a bent knee. It's really hard. So we're standing in mountain pose with a bent leg. Bend the standing leg. Rest the right ankle on that standing leg and then squat down a little bit. Keeping your gaze. Fix it somewhere. It will help your balance. Let the shoulders drop away. Sending the glutes out towards the back a little bit. Lean forward a little bit and you'll feel it down the side of your leg going into your glutes. Standing back up with the knee at the front. And let's send it behind us now. coming into the, well, I'm coming into the plant, but coming into like a warrior three, so like a balancing stick, first of all, and then the hands come down to the mat, and we look at the knee. The standing legs with a slight bend, and see if you can pick that back foot up into the air, and then place it down onto the ground, stepping back into downward facing dog. Let's bring the knees down, release the toes, and we'll take a nice rest in child pose. So anywhere you like, bring the forehead down if you can, or choose either hips or forehead. And then slide the hands back and lay them either side of the feet. And let's take 5 restful breaths here. So take a nice few breaths facing down, really relaxing the nervous system, calming the body. So just one more breath here. Just notice how the body feels. And then press into the hands, come into a nice seated position. And have one leg extended and bring another knee up towards you. And with the opposite arm, you're just going to wrap it around the knee, or just hold the knee, depending on how you're feeling today. Otherwise, wrap the elbow around the knee. We're going to take a spine twist. So the other hand goes behind, but we're just going to take a nice, easy twist. Just look behind you, over your shoulder. And we're rotating from the thoracic spine and not the lower spine. Breathing nice and gently. Really softening the body on the exhale. And then turning to the front. And with this bent leg, just send the knee out to the side. So we're coming into like a half butterfly shape. Hands above the head. And we're just going to do a little passive fold over the extended leg now. So it's passive, we're not pushing. Just gently bring the body as far as you can. Let the head hang down a little bit. Just breathing nice and naturally. Gently bringing the body back up. Placing the left hand behind, the right hand behind you, the opposite hand. Same arm as the bent leg. And we're going to push into the hand and lift the hips up. Just come into a very brief half while thing. And then bring the body back down and we change over. So extend the other leg, bring the other knee in, nice and bent, not too close. Wrap the elbow around, so it's opposite arm, opposite leg. Lift up and just twist round from the mid-thoracic, upper back, and just take a little look over the shoulder if you can. Taking just a couple of breaths here. Just resting in. And then turning to the front, let that knee just come down towards the ground as far as it can. Don't have to push it, just let the knee come down, raise the hands above the head, and we're going to do a little passive fold over the extended leg. So just gently bow the head. Maybe the hands are on the ground or on the legs. Just gently come into this. Breathing in and out. Let's just notice anything, any feelings or sensations in the body. And on the next in breath, bring the body up. Place the left hand behind you. So the same arm as the bent leg. We're going to lift the hips up if we can, raising the other arm over the head, stretching into a half wild thing, and then back down into a comfortable seat. So that might be cross-legged or just having the legs in front of you. Just nice cross legs. And let's just rest our hands at our heart space. Close your eyes. And just notice how you feel. Just watch your breath just for a moment, breathing in and out. Just enjoying this space to rest. Taking it easy. And then place your palms together and then the thumbs at the third eye. Gentle bow. Thank you for joining me today. Have a lovely day. Namaste.